Welcome to Arguing Art. I'm Adam Sterner, and this is Micah Luke. And in this episode on our series of the sliding scale of art, we are going to be discussing successful versus unsuccessful art.
All right, guys, welcome to this episode of Arguing Art. So basically what we're talking about today is the idea of successful or unsuccessful art. And what we really want you to walk away with is sort of a grasp of the concept or I guess more losing the concept of the duality of art.
Sure, you mean art versus not art.
Yeah, so either something is art or it's not art, versus degrees of art.
Okay.
So that we frame in the idea of successful art versus unsuccessful art. And then what is that word? It's a range.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a range of possibilities. And successful art would be?
Successful art would be a work that successfully communicates its message or the intended emotions that the author or artist intended to express to the viewer. Now, that could be through sound technical proficiency, common language, but a successful piece and the degrees of success depend upon how well the artist's intention is carried through to the viewer of the piece.
So, like, if I wanted to get across the idea of, I don't know, sad. We'll go with sad this time because we always go with angry.
Okay.
So if I want to get across the idea of sad and you got depressed or maybe under the weather.
Okay.
So it'd be in the same realm, but it wouldn't be exactly.
Yeah, the communication would have been more, a little more muddy.
Yeah.
And
that'd be where the degree thing is then, right?
Yep, it's not that it's completely, it's not that it's a failed piece or anything, just the communication of the artist's message isn't as successful or as clear or as interpretable. And it makes it harder to appreciate, understand, and feel what the artist intended.
So that's on the successful, and then that'd be an example of less successful work, and that would go all the way down to unsuccessful work. Unsuccessful basically is the antithesis. I mean, it doesn't get the message across. That could be because of maybe the message itself is cloudy. Maybe there's all sorts of channel noise, which we're covering that next time. We'll talk about the model of communication, but channel noise in a nutshell is just things that get in the way of you getting that message. So that could be a lack, then, of technical proficiency. It could be a lack of understanding of the knowledge, or understanding of the language, both of the artist, or it could be of the viewer. But it could even be an emotional setting or upset, an emotional upset on the part of the audience that just happened on their way to the gallery.
Yeah, it definitely could.
That can result in an unsuccessful experience. That's the idea. Do you agree with that? Because to a certain degree, it does take away the possibility of defining like a strict, stringent definition of art.
It does. It allows for varying degrees of successfulness of art.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? Have you had successful experiences, unsuccessful experiences? Maybe you've had a successful or unsuccessful, and then later a successful experience with the same piece. That's totally possible too then.
It is. If you are on your way to the gallery and you become, we talk about the gallery a lot, fine art,
yeah.
But you could classify different novels, books, movies, music.
Movies.
But when you first experience a piece, if you're in the wrong mood, if you're like Micah had said, if there's an emotional upset that happened, or maybe you're just not familiar with the individual language of that piece.
Oh, yeah.
Channel noise can be introduced. Your communication's reduced. To you, it's a less successful piece. But you could come back at it with fresh eyes, be in a better mood, more familiar with that particular style of art, and suddenly the piece is much more successful for you.
Maybe you were beheaded on the way to the gallery.
That would make it really tough.
It would hurt my experience, I know that. Well, hit us up with comments. If you're checking us out on a video server, come over to arguingart.com. We'd love to have you guys. That's where the real meat of the conversation is happening. So coming over and discuss art and art philosophy. And we'll be back with one more episode in this series after this, right?
Yes, we will.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.